What are you doing? What are you doing? I didn't say you could give me a kiss. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, I know. Life is hard. I know, girl. Life is hard. But that's okay. July is not only my birthday. I decided that I was going to also participate in Her Kid and Sunrise of the Readathon. Hi, welcome back to Gnomes and Novels. My name is Delinda, your mood reading bestie. I am actually very excited. I know I did not sound like super excited, but I'm very excited for this readathon. The two readathons that we are going to talk about in this video. Now, mood reader, how do you do that? I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. So, where we are going to start is the one that actually takes place in the month of July, which is Sunrise on the Readathon, hosted by Katie Colson. She has a wonderful channel here on YouTube, as well as all of the templates and graphics, and all of those are in the Discord and Instagram. So if you are interested, I'm hoping to get this video out early enough in the month that you see it, and if you're interested, you still have time to sign up and join all the fun over there. But like I said, I'm a mood reader, so how am I planning on tackling this? Let's see. We have a wonderful bingo board, and I actually really like bingo boards. It's something about the gamifying, you know.
I'm not a gamer. I don't do that. let me stop you there.
I do not do that. But there is something about enjoying a nice bingo board. It's a 5x5, and you know, it's easy to complete and get a bingo. Now a blackout, we're not doing that. That's a bit not doing that. At this time, I am loosely planning to hopefully read books that I can fit in these squares. What does that even mean? It means I'm still going to read what I want to read when I'm feeling that, and I'm hoping, if I don't plan it too far in advance, that these books will still be tickling my fancy so that I can read it, complete it, and I can color off a square. I probably have about halfway. This is about halfway filled. And this is also including like some, or not including the books that will slowly come in off my holds list on Libby. So at the moment, these are the books that I plan on reading and for what squares for Sunrise on the Readathon. Let's see. Okay, so let's do the B row first, right? Disability rep. At the moment, I do not have anything. Sometimes it's fun to just like pick up a book and be like, oh, this fits for this prompt. So that is what I'm hoping is going to happen for the disability rep. Sun or moon. Katie and her team, I'm not even sure if it's just her or if she has like a team of friends that are helping her with this, but she has some fantastic recs on Instagram that she has been like on top of. And the characters are coming out, y'all. I love them. I absolutely love the characters that she has created as well for this. Okay, so between Sun and Moon on the cover, she's got a lot of really, really great recs in here. Some of them I have actually read. I don't know what I'm really feeling at the moment. Ooh, The Bright Years has been on my TBR for some time. I could do that one. Let's see. And then she's got Moon here. I have actually been wanting to reread The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. The first time I read it, and I have to see if that actually has a cover on it, or I'm sorry, it has a moon on the cover, but I have read it many moons ago. I didn't appreciate it back then because I do know it deals with like, if you could choose a different lifeline kind of thing. So I think I would enjoy it a little bit more, maybe if I go back and reread it. So that is also an option. That seems to be about it on those. Okay, so Sun or Moon. Pubbed before 2020. I just came across this one, Tuesdays with Maury, An Old Man, a Young Man, and a Life's Greatest Lesson. This one, I believe, was pubbed like early 2000s, I think. So I have that one on here. This is a short story. I think it's around 4 or 5 hours. This one was like an older man and his son, or a younger man, just coming together and having conversations. They're both sharing things about their lives, and it just really sounded really intriguing. This next one is sequel. I am hoping to finish this series this summer, y'all. Falling for Fables has been so much fun. It is like the perfect form of cozy fantasy with some smut. Okay, I really like this one. So this is book 4, and I believe it's the finale for this series. I have not seen anywhere where we might get a 5th book, but I am very excited for this one. 5-star prediction, James. Yes, 100%. Need I say more? New to me author. Pick one. Like, there's a plethora. I'm sure I'm not going to have any issues filling in that box as I go. Red on the cover. I feel like I just saved one and I was like, ooh, that would be perfect. Maybe not. I could have lied to myself. Okay. Maybe not, but that's not going to be a difficult prompt either. Post challenge online. So I do plan on posting something, maybe a stack, or maybe just like the team that I am on. It is very like Zodiac heavy, Team Cancer. Actually, it's Water District, something like that. Brown on the cover. This one, I am definitely reading Summer's Echo, and I believe it takes place at a summer camp. And I don't think it's a friends to lovers, but it is something on the lines of like they previously knew each other, maybe from previous years at this summer camp, and they are learning or rekindling some sort of romance that they had. Book over 450 pages. I'm not really in my fantasy bag right now. So we'll see. We will see. Read outside. This is just another like take a picture outside and you just post it. A BIPOC author, again, is not going to be a problem for me. I have quite a few in my holds right now. That's like, oh, maybe I'll pick this one up.
Give me this. Give it, ma'am. Not for you. These children, let me tell you.
I have a couple holds. I'm just like waiting for them to come in already. Maybe Sky Full of Elephants. That one has been on my radar for some time. Love by the Book. Maybe. I might get To the Moon by Evelyn Latrice by the time this starts. So we have options. And then of course we have our free space. A translated book. This one I am probably going to default to an Asian translated piece of fiction. I could actually continue. I think the Coffee Gets Cold. I have that series and I've read the first book and I just never continued. I think they just like keep coming out with more. So I those are the options. Audiobook, that is my preferred choice of reading. I did just get The Correspondent, so I'm very excited about that one. A book written in letters, like, why not? A book under 250 pages. I do have a few novellas that I have saved recently. Goodness. So I will default to one of those. Again, blue on the cover. I did just get, oh, well, shoot. Okay, I might have to swap. Lies of Locke Lamora just came in, and I know that is a thickum. Let me see. Okay, Lies of Locke Lamora will go with the books over 450 pages, and I will just find a new one that has blue on the cover. That won't be difficult either. But yes, Lies of Locke Lamora, I just got that hold in, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. A book from the library, which could be Libby, Hoopla, or I forget the third one that is library connected. Days of Distraction, that has been on my TBR for some time, so I'm probably going to do that one. Green on the cover, I have Heathen and Honeysuckle. I think something about the like H&H, I forget what they call that, but I find that to be like a fun title for books whenever authors do that. So Heathen and Honeysuckle, I believe this is a romance, and there's about 4 or 5 books out, and so we'll see. If I like this book, this first book, then I hopefully will continue the series. Person on the cover, y'all know I don't like people on my covers, but I do have a couple that I think I can probably figure something out. Banned or challenged, and this is so fun because it's so fitting. I am doing a reread of The Hunger Games, and I am actually on the Mockingjay, so I do plan on reading that book. I have not read the other 2 books that have come out since, you know, the original trilogy. So I do plan on hopefully finishing this trilogy out so then I can read the other 2, The Snake and the Ballad and The Sunrise and The Reaping. Yep, I do hope to finally read all of those so I am caught up. Suzanne, take a break, my girl. Take a break. A 2026 release. There's a couple trickling in. Let me see. Let me see. I have a couple that might tickle my fancy a little bit. I do post monthly anticipated reads over on Instagram, so I can kind of just like pick one. Breakout just came out. They All Fall in Love in the End just came out. Ooh, Obstetrics. That one actually sounds really, really interesting, and it's completely out of my typical genre reading, but Obstetrics, I think I'm going to try and grab that one. And The Someday Garden. I'm waiting on that one to come out by Ashley Poston. I'm very excited about that one. So we have some options. A mentor rec. So on Discord and on Instagram, she has, I think it's like the 4 major districts based off of elements. So in the water district, and then each district has the mentors or the librarians or the helpers of Katie, and they post, you know, books that they would recommend. So one of them is recommended the Wayfarers, that's what it is. The Wayfarers series. I have read books 1 and 2, so I will pick up big 3, which is Record of a Spaceborne Few. These titles make absolutely no sense to me, but they are a good time. And it is the one sci-fi book series, whatever, that I have been able to read and really, really enjoy. Animal on the cover, I am deciding to do Crow Talk for this one. And then Queer Rep. Pick a book. Pick one. There's so many. So
Those are what words. Hello.
that is what I am planning for Sunrise on the Readathon. Again, very loose. Whatever I hope to pick up will fill in one of those blank squares. Now, time for the big one. HRCYED 3.0 is back. This is a year-long readathon that starts July of this year through June of the next year. So Stephanie over at Qwordy on YouTube, Instagram, those things, she has created this super fun, super challenging readathon. Okay, so like Delinda, what does HRCYED stand for? It is literally the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. So what does that actually mean? We have another bingo board. Okay. And within this bingo board, so bingo board is what? A 5x5. So in theory, that is 25 books. You're wrong. It is 25 prompts. Within each prompt, you have another set of prompts. So overall, you can read up to 150 books. Or you can double a book to a prompt. No, double up a book to 2 prompts. So it's either 150 books or as less as 75, I think is what it calculates out to. All of the nitty-gritty details are over on Stephanie's channel. I will link it absolutely below because it is way too detailed, way too mind-boggling for me to even attempt and I will still completely fail. So what are we doing here today? It's my birthday month. So I wanted to start with my It's Your Birthday square. We do have this bingo board, and I will pop it up here. So we'll go down again just to go through. Some of them are a little bit more confusing. She's created a Google Sheet. She's got a Canva that you can customize. This year is all about customization, which is fantastic. So, and I think that's actually a little bit easier than past years. I know last year people were really hung up on like, it was a rainbow challenge, and it was colors of the rainbow as book covers. And I know people were going crazy over teal. As I look on my shelf, I'm like, oh, that looks like a teal nose. That one wouldn't have been a problem for me. But I understand like the frustration of just like wanting to complete this challenge and doing all that you can. So that way, you know, you can get it done. And I get it. But I think this year is going to be super fun. You can customize it how you want. And she kind of just gives you the overall, like, here it is. So the Choose Your Party is related to D&D.
I don't play that. I don't even know what that means.
But essentially, you are going to pick, I think it was 5 roles and coordinating professions in those books. And then you've got US Road Trip, which I believe she said a book that takes place in that state except the big 2. And I think it was California and New York, maybe Texas. I think those were the 3, like pick books. There's 50 minus 3 is 47. There's 47 other states that, you know, pick those. Characters to authors. This one was fun. And I've got the sheets up here so that way I can kind of figure out what these mean. 'Cause I was like, a do what and a who and a where. I think this one was read a book, the name of the main character, and then find an author with that name. So that's that one. Animal families. Different animal families need to be on the cover. So if there's a dog or some form of dog, wolf, if it howls, barks, that's one family. And then you can do a cat, and then, you know, maybe birds or mammals, you know, that kind of thing. So that's animal families. And then It's Your Birthday. We'll actually do that one last so that way I can tell you the books that I plan on reading. It's all about you. So the prompts is like, okay. And then let's move over to periodic table. This one was really, really hard, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to do it, but I have found 5 books. I think it's 5, maybe 6, but I have found 5 books with periodic elements as titles. So I was really excited about that one. Bookception. See here, find a book that mentions another. Oh, yes. I actually really do like this. I was going to do like an Instagram post once upon a time where I'm reading a book and it mentions another book, and then I'll read that book. So that's essentially what that is. And I don't remember how many connections we have to do. It might just be 2 connections, and you have to read both books. So obviously the one that you are reading, and then whatever book was mentioned in it, you have to read that one as well. And then Shiritori. This one, I believe, is another kind of like fun read it after kind of thing. Let me see here. Where are you? Title Shiritori. Okay. I don't remember how many books you have to do this for, but you take the title of the book and then you use the last letter for the start of the new book, if that makes sense. So that one's kind of hard. Okay. So I'm looking at my bookshelf. So Promise Boys. And then I would find a book that starts with an S, Serpent Sea. And I would do that for however many books. So then Serpent Sea ends with an A. So then I don't think while I'm doing this one, I don't think I will use like a, the, and as the first words. So, which makes it a little bit harder because I just like skimmed over 5 books that start with A. So then the next book would then start with A. Good Lord, a lot of my books start with A. You get the picture. So that is Shiritori. And then biomes, that one, as someone who was a bio major in school, you would think that that one would like make me super excited. But okay, so on her spreadsheet, it says biomes and landscapes. Oh, that's right. So different landscapes or like, yes, different landscapes on the cover. So mountains, desert, tropical, ocean, those kinds of things. And then a backlist author. This one, pick an author, and then I think you have to read a certain number of their backlist. Let's go to the N column. Familial terms. This one is you have to read a certain number of books with different familial terms in it. So boy, mom, daughter, grandfather, sisters. Those are just like some of the ones that come off the top of my head. And then not so secret prompt anymore. This one is like a mashup, I think, or it's something. It has something to do with like the previous, I think you have to pick previous prompts from HRCYED 1 and 2, which she has listed out for you. And then you have the actual HRCYED mashup, which is take other prompts. Take other prompts and then mash from 1 and 2 and then mash it up. And I don't remember how many times you have to do that. The remix. This one I think was like, we have books that are like retellings and those things, but it's like a retelling with a twist though. So the author is Jasmine Mass in the Hercules one that just came out. And yeah, that I think that could probably fit because it's not just like a loose Hercules inspiration, but it's a gender swap. So I think that one could probably fit, but I've already read it. I could still read the second book for it, but we shall see. This one was for copyright issues, so I must endeavor to acquire these creatures. Gotta catch them all in the little ball with the little theme song.
I wanna be the very best.
So that one is read books that give the vibe of the different types of the little creatures, and so she's got like different creature types: bug, electric, fire, fairy, dragon, and then you just pick a book cover that gives off kind of like that vibe. So that one will be a fun one. Traipsing through regions. This one was a little bit harder for me to figure out just because I'm not good with geography. So figuring out like what an actual region means, I have tried Googling this one and I'm just like, okay, let me do, maybe regions of Africa or regions of South America, try to get out of my North American bubble. And I think I was still failing in that. So I may default to her examples that she has here. So she's got Swana, Mediterranean, South Asian, Latin America, Western Europe, and then Eastern Europe, East Asia, Central Asia, and the Caribbean. So I may just default and pick an author from or takes place in these areas. I don't remember how many books are in that one. Cover styles. This one was another fun one. I will say 5. So this one is pick 5 different cover styles and read those books. So, we have like the minimal, we have maybe the artsy. I'm really digging my like artsy cover style vibe these days. Maybe there is an object on the cover. Maybe it is, I don't know, scenery on the cover, that kind of thing. And then we have numerical titles. So we have 2 that sound very, very similar. So this one is numerical titles, and I believe it is 1 through 11 plus. The title has to have literally the number 1 spelled out. in the title, does not include volumes of like manga books, does not include like sequels like da 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 number 2 of said series. So nothing like that. So this one, I did actually start brainstorming a little bit because I was like, why can I not find any books that have 1 in the title? And of course, I think it was like a phone situation. So then I went on the laptop and it just like blew up with lots of different recommendations. So that one. And then we have the food pyramid. There's a lot of books with cupcakes on them and nothing else. Cupcakes, pies, lots of books. So the book does not only have to include food in it, but there must be food on the cover. And it has to be 5 different food groups of the pyramid. I don't even know what the freaking pyramid looks like anymore. So, and I do think liquids, beverages do count for this. So I have been seeing some over on like the recommendation Discord page. So I think liquids pass for this one as well. And then an anthology of authors. An anthology is a book that has multiple mini books, mini stories, or it is a book written by multiple authors that like come together as one. So read that one book, and then you pick a handful of those authors and then read one of their books. So that's like a 1+. And then we have choose your curriculum. This one is actually really, really fun. I know like the curriculum vibe is going around right now. And this one is pick however many 5 subjects that you would essentially study in school, and then pick a book that fits that vibe. It must have something to do with it. I wonder if like dance is considered, like it's an art form and people studied in college. Maybe, because there is a few books on my radar that center around ballet. My daughter is a dancer, so it centers around ballet. And so I do have a couple of things like on my mind for that one. And then a rainbow of, oh no, sorry, I missed one. Titular counting. This was the other one. So this one is titular counting. So this one is how many words are in the title. I think up to 10. So that one's pretty easy. And then we have a rainbow of words. So she has actually adjusted this one because, we
the people just cannot help but to complain.
So you can either do books of the rainbow, and she does give us the set of rainbow colors, not color adjacent. It has to be colors of the rainbow plus pink, white, black, silver, gray. But she has either said you can do the cover having the actual color in the title, or you can do the title color, but whichever one you choose, you have to do that for the entirety of the prompt of all the rainbow colors. I think I'm going to go with the latter because some colors like purple, green, pink even, like I've either read it or I just don't have desire to read it. So I think I'm going to do the latter where it's titles of those colors. And then we have weather covers, which is different forms of weather on the cover. And then second chances and hidden gems. There is the soft DNF and then there's like the hard DNF. If it's hard DNF, I'm not picking it back up. I've done it one time and nope, not doing it. So this one I could do any of my like soft DNFs, or also I think it's like a low Goodreads rating. So anything under 3.5. If you know someone who gave something a 1-star review, pick that book up. And then she also says like a book that's like less than 100 reviews. All these things can kind of be easily found within Goodreads. So that is the bingo board for HRCYED 3.0. Like I said, I am very, very excited for it, with all of the different customizable features. Now you see on the board, there's also 5 purple squares. Those are the ones that are more customizable, where she gives you a list that you can choose from, and then you just kind of pick whatever you want. Let's go back to it's your birthday. And as a true mood reader, it's very difficult for me to plan something and stick to it. I could literally plan to read 6 of these books, but by the time I get finished with book 2, my whole mood has shifted. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. And then I'm completely just like unhinged, right? So what I have planned here is a mix of a few things. And I've got a few palette cleansers that I think are really going to do me good. I got into the recommendation thing, and these are all off of your interpretation. So my birthstone is a ruby. I was like, okay, maybe I could find like a deep red cover. Wasn't really finding anything that I was really interested in reading. And here's the other thing. Just because it is a huge reading challenge, and I know it's all about like finding books that you maybe have never seen before, or, you know, reading outside of your comfort zone, I am also not going to put myself in a position that's going to put me in a slump. If I don't want to read it, I'm not going to read it. If it doesn't look like something that I'm going to have fun with, that I'm going to want to share later with someone else, I'm not picking it up. So, you know, that's just me. And I do want to encourage other people, like, you don't, just because this is the prompt, you don't have to read this book. There's a plethora. I love using the plethora and cornucopia. There's a cornucopious amounts of books that you can truly pick. Just find something else to read that you're going to enjoy, and it's not going to put you in a slump, because slumps are not fun either. So for Birthstone, I am picking up book 4 of the Ice Planet Barbarians by Miss Ruby Dixon. That's what I did. I say all that to say, Birthstone, Ruby, author is Ruby Dixon. So I'm very excited. This is one of those palette cleansers for sure. It is a fun time. You don't take anything really like seriously with this one. Essentially, Ice Planet Barbarians, there was this spaceship, we'll say a plane. There was a plane that crashed on another planet with these giant male barbarian things, and they each find a wife of the women in this plane crash was all women. So they find a wife, and then their each story follows a couple, and it is very cute. I really enjoy them. So there is that. Birth month publication. I did find, so Sea of Charms is on my TBR, but I don't think I'm going to get it in time to kind of like read it. So then I found Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This one has been on my TBR for some time. This is a mystery thriller. I know it involves sisters. I don't know if there's like a summer camp or a lake kind of setting, but I saw one of my friends read it and gave it a 5 stars as like one. She loved Verity. I loved Verity. And she was like, besides Verity, this is one of the most like twisted, messed up stories that she's read. So I was like, sold. I'm going to do that one. And then for Zodiac, why did I pick this one? Oh, you know what I did on this one? Okay. My Zodiac is a crab. I'm a Cancer. There's no books with crabs on them. And the books that, you know, thank you very much to those who have recommended. I truly appreciate it. They don't excite me. Not at all. So with this one, what I did was I typed in authors who are also Cancers, and I came up with, if I can see it, Essie Hinton, and she wrote The Outsiders, which is also on my TBR. And I believe this one is a like under 250 page classic. So I feel like I've maybe many moons ago watched the movie or adaptation. I don't really remember it. I know it's like a gang of misfits. That's it. That's all I remember from it. So I am excited to finally like read it and get the full understanding of this story. Chinese Zodiac. My Chinese Zodiac is a goat. And so with the goat, I looked it up, like intuitive, emotional, and then like artistic, artsy. So in Confess by Colleen Hoover, I know she is another one of those like questionable authors. To each their own. I like the freaking stories, so I'm gonna read them. Confess has to do with an art, not student, but I think they do something artsy. Yep, so it did that. Flower. So apparently, Every month has 2 flowers. July has larkspur and a water lily. I personally love lilies, and water lily, I was like, oh, so it represents peace, purity, and spiritual enlightenment. And when I think of that, I think of just like a retreat of some sort. And I love the beach. I love water. So I was really, really excited to find Sag Harbor by Colson Whitehead, I believe. Yep, Colson Whitehead. This actually does take place in the summer. I think it was like in the 80s, a teenage boy just kind of like figuring it out in the span of a summer. He gets dropped off. I wouldn't say it's like necessarily a retreat, but more like a camp for teenagers in the affluent Black community. I finally get to like dip my toe into Colson Whitehead's books because I think I have another one for the periodic table. I want to read the Nickel Boys. So, and then for Tree, that one, that's the one. That one had 2. So let me see. This one it's an oak. I don't want to read nothing about oak. But I also saw, it's like, and I can't find it now, of course. It was like the Caribbean Flaming Tree or something like that. And I was like, oh, say less. A book by a Caribbean author. Duh. And I have picked up A Million Aunties, and just getting like the vibe of this one, I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And then name meaning. So I'm actually named after my mother. Delinda is a completely made up name. But my mother's name is Linda, which in Spanish is beautiful. And I think at one point when I was taking Spanish, like anytime you put like day, like, or, you know, like something, day, something, I think it's like of. So in my brain, my name's like Of Beauty or like Made of Beauty or whatever. So I just picked a beautiful cover book that has been on my TBR. Summer's Echo. Again, I am loving this like painted style cover, and I'm finding more and more come across my timeline. That is what the plans are. I have not planned out the whole thing in its entirety. I do not plan on planning it out in its entirety. Me and the kiddo did make a cute little HRCYED TBR jar, if it focuses. So cute. And I did just put each bingo square. So there's 25 pieces of paper in here, and it's literally just the bingo squares. And how I plan to do this is, so for July, I'm going to do the birthday square. As I'm still, reading throughout the year, I'm just going to kind of fill it in as I go. And then if there's ever just like a moment, a weekend maybe where it's like, I think I want to maybe like tackle a HRCYED square, I'll just pick one of these, and then that will kind of be my homework for maybe that week or, whatever it is. So that's why I did create this. Kind of still gives me the variety to fit within my mood reading umbrella. I hope this works. And then if that is the case, then obviously I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. Those are my July plans. It's really ambitious, especially since I'm still like getting the vlogs off the ground and all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It is a little long, so I apologize. And if any of this sounds exciting, definitely drop a book rec in the comments of what you would add to one of these prompts. Or if you plan on joining, I will absolutely put Katie's page in the description as well as Qwordy's page in the description. If you made it this far, let me know what your birthday zodiac is. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading.